Satan's house and everything.
Yeah.
You're Satan.
Yeah. You're
Satan.
Satan. You're Satan. He goes, if you do an undergraduate degree in biology, you become an atheist.
For old American Pope Leo, back in the palace, baby.
Hell yeah, America. Yeah, get him back in there, all right? If you do a PhD graduate degree in biology, you start to see God everywhere.
Oh my God.
Good evening, my name is Atari. Welcome to Jare to Jared. On the first volume of the Demon Pod, the Jareds will discuss the devil, Christopher Marlowe, the global demonic, environmentalism, the demonic aesthetic, and much, much more. Let's pray.
In nomine Patris, Spiritus Sancti.
We need to draw the magician's circle around us to keep the demons out as we approach this topic.
I got some ketchup.
Yeah. Throw some salt over our shoulders.
That made me think of like Tenacious D, the movie, The Pick of Destiny, where they make the pentagram out of ketchup and channel the demon gods for metal music, the power of metal.
That's cool. I like that.
And it's weird how it can also be something that's viewed as a positive, right?
Yeah.
Giving you sort of the confidence to break free from traditions, break free from domesticity, from following the normal path, the peaceful path, right? Yeah. Sort of becoming this Hamlet-esque haunted individual, right? Or channeling Dio. Rip Ozzy Osbourne just died. Freaking went to so many Ozfests. The power of like the demon genre, right? The demon realm.
Well, the word demon comes from the word daemon.
Ooh.
Daemon.
Hark back to the Golden Compass.
Yeah. So this is, what's the Golden Compass?
Philip Pullman. You haven't read those?
No, I haven't read them.
Okay.
It's the daemon, ancient Greek word, and it pretty much just meant energies moving through you.
Right.
So if you're on the battlefield, you would call upon a daemon, like the war daemon, to enter your spirit and go into battle.
Yeah.
Or eudaimon, eudaimon, means happiness.
Right.
Because EU was like euphoria, euthanasia, all these. EU meant, euphoric kind of feeling, happiness, that sort of thing.
Sure.
Meant the energy of happiness moving through you. So as far as I know, that word comes from daemon and originally meant just energies moving through you. Yeah.
I like that a lot. Well, in this series, the dark, can't remember what the Philip Pullman Chronicles are, the dark matter or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. But Charles looked that up. But all the characters within this series, Golden Compass is the most famous one. They have a daemon that accompanies with them.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
And all of them are animals, different animals. So the main guy has a tiger, one of them has like a little weasel and stuff like that. Right. Cool. So we all have our daemons, a bird and an owl, whatever. Right. But when they get hurt, we get hurt. If they die, we die inside. Yeah, right. Exactly, our soul gets lost, you know? Yeah. And there's this new sort of monotheistic religion that is trying to kill all the demons and control, the people and inhibit growth and expansion.
Kill the animal spirit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
Wow, that's beautiful. So where do we start?
Right.
Where do we start?
Demon
on the Demon Pod. Demonopod 2025. Where do we start?
I mean, there's
Are they real? There. Do we start with that? Do we just jump into that?
We've hit this before. Okay, so let's quickly touch on it. I don't think we need to spend too much time on reality, objective reality of such.
Okay.
But we have recently had friends that claim to have objective encounters with with the fourth kind, with the demon kind, you know.
Yeah.
Has any of these things happened to me and you? A couple Jesus rational people. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to tell the whole story, but
I want the whole thing.
On accident.
Oh my God. Now you're just. Okay.
I'm just going to leave it here. On accident oh wait, I definitely shared this one actually, because we made a joke how I started the pandemic or something, because I accidentally, I think it was late 2019. Late 2019, I accidentally invited a demon into my apartment.
Sure.
And
what was his name?
Didn't tell me his name.
Okay.
If I knew his name, I'd probably have had power over him.
That's
why I didn't know the name. Right. And I didn't know at the time to ask. So felt like I invited a demon in on accident. Right. And then in my life, just horrible, crazy stuff started happening. And then the pandemic happened. So I think I started the pandemic. Right. Sorry, guys.
How was the channeling done?
Pandemic. Pandemonium. Ooh, right? Does pandemic come from the word demon?
Sure. I don't know.
Is there a root connection there?
Definitely the concept of pandemics would be evil or demonic.
Right. Well, the pandemonium, that comes from John Milton's Paradise Lost. And the pandemonium was the city of the demons.
Right.
The tower that all the demons lived in.
Chaos.
Yeah. Pandemonium. So it's not in Milton, it's an actual place. Now it's used as chaos, but pandemonium, pandemic, and then pan meaning all. Right. You know?
There's certainly some crazy stories of Buddhist demons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
Eastern.
Oh, yeah.
The Eastern demon.
The Eastern demons.
Return of the Dragon. Bruce Lee fighting his demons, in the dream world.
Have you seen a demon?
Never.
You saw a coyote demon once.
Oh, yeah. I did see the demon coyote. Yeah, the demon coyote. I took ate some pretty bad porcini mushrooms, too many of them by myself. And it was just weird. I could hear water splashing in my head. And then I went outside at some point during the middle of the night smoking a cig, and I heard a dog, and I looked to my left, freaked out, and it was a demon coyote, crazy, red eyes, freaking pointy ears.
Yeah.
It wasn't real. And I was like, oh God, maybe I was just tripping.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
And then I ran inside. I was like, oh my God, demon coyote.
Yeah.
And then that morning I had to teach myself how to talk again. And you know what helped though is I lived by the cross of the martyrs here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Oh. So I walked to the cross and I saw
what's the cross sunrise. Is that big white cross?
The big white cross. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You should take a walk up there.
It's beautiful. It's
beautiful. Saw the sunrise, and that healed me from that's an interesting concept. Yeah. Okay. Let's think of demons as sort of a genre, right? Yeah. Vampires,
sure.
Garlic, freaking, sunlight, what have you, right? So Catholicism has sort of been an authority on the demon sort of thing.
Yeah.
But Catholicism, Christianity isn't as old as a lot of Eastern religions as well. Right, so they took from those old stories as well.
Yeah.
But now what do we have now is we have a character with genre expectations, right? The sun, they don't like the sun.
Demons don't like the sun.
They don't like the sun. They don't like
creatures generally.
They don't like, church, holy water, things like this, right? Yeah. I don't know. Can you think of the genre of the demon?
Yeah. So, well, there's also the expulsion of the demon.
Right.
That's part of the genre too, right? Yes. Because you invite the demon in, and there's always an invitation. Right. It's kind of rare that the demon just comes upon you. I mean, some that can be there too. It's like a poltergeist or something. You unknowingly move into the house that already has a demon, but you're moving into the demon space.
Right.
So you're either moving into the demonic space or or you're inviting the demon into your space. Right, it's like the vampire can't cross the threshold of your house unless you invite
Sinners.
them.
That was a big thing. Yeah.
So, which is funny because you think of even internet viruses and hackers and stuff like that, where you actually have to invite them in. You get those texts that are like, you're, sending to old people like your grandson is in jail. And if you have to click this link to get, just like whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's like, you have to click the link. You have to respond. You have to go into it.
Right.
Because if you just say no, hard boundary, the demon can't pass that boundary. No.
Right.
Boom, done.
Yeah.
So there's the invitation of the demon, and then the expulsion of the demon.
Just like you said, you got to know the name. That's another genre expectation. If you know the name, then you have power over the character. Right.
Yeah. So the story that a friend recently shared, she said she moved into a new apartment, so she was moving into the demonic space, had a weird vibe in the apartment. Goes and then like a psychic tarot card lady or something told her like, yeah, there's definitely a darkness in that apartment, and apartments are fucking weird. We could get into like, especially in a place like New Mexico, old ass buildings, old apartments. You don't know what kind of stuff has gone on in there.
Right.
So she was in LA, but she moved into this place, dark energy. Psychic says, get some sage, do these, say some prayers, and clear out the space. My friend doesn't do that. Goes to sleep and has a dream that she's having sex with a demon. Right. And then she said she's never been one for like depression or, doesn't have too much darkness in her, pretty like chill person, light person. And then she said her life got terrible. She's depressed all the time. She's dark. She's moody, lashing out at people, all this stuff. And then some people in her life were just like, are you okay? Like, what is going on? And she said now when she looks back at pictures of herself from that period, she was like, there's this heaviness that she never had. Right. So then she goes back to the psychic, and the psychic's like, yeah, you have a demon on you. You need to go back and do the sage it out and prayers and whatever else. So she does that, and then I guess successfully expulsed the demon. Right. And
she was lashing out at her boyfriend and everything.
Yeah, lashing out.
Fuck that! Suck dick in hell. Yeah.
Exorcist style.
So demons also have like Tourette syndrome too. That's part of the job.
That's the Jare to Jare demon.
Yeah. So, but then of course, if you step back from religion, if you step back from imagination, the things that we don't imagine, if you go into the realm of the power of persuasion, then you can kind of discount every single demon story anyone has ever told me.
Oh, interesting.
Like, for instance,
so now you're taking like the skeptic stance.
Yeah,
okay,
like
cool.
Play devil's advocate, but
Hey.
the devil, no pun intended. Yeah. If she would have never went to a psychic would have never told her that. She would have never had nightmares and would have never have had to go get sage. And then right after that, she completed the story of the psychic's persuasion, and then she could go back to normal. Whereas if she just went to Starbucks that day, that would have never happened.
However, can you account for, because she went to the psychic because she felt like there was a weird energy in the apartment. She had something on her.
I'd like to know how the origins of, because we don't know them.
We don't know. So who knows? Maybe she got into a fight with her boyfriend that day,
and then all of a sudden it's
her
weird
best friend
vibes,
is depressed, and then she's like feeling weird vibes and moves into this new place,
and then goes sees a psychic. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just genuinely weird vibes. Like I saw that documentary, 11 Minutes, which is about the shooting at the Mandalay Bay at that concert.
So scary.
Biggest mass shooting, ever. Yeah. Well, the FBI officer went in after he killed himself, and he shot the windows out, so there's wind blowing up, 32nd floor or whatever, and it was filled with gunpowder, gun smoke from the guns going off. So he said it was the most eeriest,
of course,
creepiest, evil like spirit in that room he had ever felt.
Oh, I'm
in his
sure,
life,
dude, demonic.
Yeah. But then that's the wordage we use for something bad that has happened, right? Yeah. Is it necessarily something otherworldly? Right. Or is it just a verbiage to explain a mass murder, to explain, perversions, all this stuff, right?
Well, there is a level of rot in death, right? Because there's demon associations, because you don't associate the demon with love and like hugging a tree in nature or something. And you just went on a beautiful hike with your best friends and you're feeling really good about it. Like, that's clearly not demonic. Yeah, that's not demonic. Demonic, that's all enlivening and invigorating. Demonic is all associations, again, genre associations with death, with rot, with pain, with destruction, chaos, right? It's not, it's like, it when you see it, pandemonium. I mean, you're describing the pandemonium. I mean, if you enter into the pandemonium and like, let's say you have this tower of freaking like 32 floors or something, and you go into the tower and each floor has some other demonic thing going on. And then there's all like smaller rooms within each floor and you can get lost in it forever. One room would be a mass shooting, Sure. If you were exploring the pandemonium. Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. It's literally would be the definition of going back to sort of, the origins. That being said, it's kind of cool to see the demon as historical too. It's one of the first figures to show up in literature, right? Yeah. Grendel, Beowulf, old Hindu texts, mysticisms, the demon gods, and that.
Gilgamesh, which is, I think, one of, if not the most ancient texts that we have. It's 5,000 years old. Yeah, the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's about this hero, and there's a great flood. Sounds familiar, all this kind of stuff. And he's facing and conquering demons, sometimes conquered by demons, and then successfully flees them or whatever. So, I mean, you're right. This is something that is very central to the human experience.
Right. You're making me think now too, to our coffee conversation in the kitchen. What are categories of demons, right? Totally. So we're of course there's like Pele, Paymay, and Hereditary. Paymon. Paymon. And Hereditary, right? Yeah. There's that form,
right?
Reagan and The Exorcist, whatever. Yeah. But then there's also inner demons, right?
Yes.
This is sort of an totally play. You can mess around with it. So how do we view the demonic or the inner demons? What are they? What are they associations with? So one inner demon, that one of the most common uses of it is like overcoming like a physical like ineptitude or laziness, right? Being able to become an athlete, conquer your inner demons. Nike, fucking just do it, Right.
And it seems to me, I thought this during Nosferatu, the new one.
Nice, yeah.
Where if you conquer your inner demons, you can successfully face the outer demons.
Right.
Because there's this scene where Willem Dafoe's character, and he's like the magician, the alchemist, the exorcist, the alchemist. That was it. Thank you. He's the alchemist, which means by definition that he has conquered the inner demons. He has cleared his shit out. He is the ascended master. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then they call upon him, and then he's able to go in there and without fear, hold up the cross, whatever, do what he has to do. And you can see that when what's-her-face, Lily Rose Depp is, freaking out, squirming on the bed, everyone's all scared. Then Willem Dafoe, the alchemist, is able to sit with that and be like, it's a mask, it's fireworks, it's the demon putting on a show. He's not scared about it because he's seen it, he's been through it, he's conquered it within himself. That's like, what's there to fear?
Right. Yeah. That's just the exposition of the inner demon within the self. Because
demons also do a lot of, there's a big facade to the demon, kind of a Wizard of Oz quality, where it's these scary giant, things going on. But then if you actually look at it, it's like this tiny little mouse or this like wounded part of you that's upset or something like that. Right. When you clear away the facade,
the inner demons.
At least for the inner ones.
Right. Oh man, for some reason I was thinking of that movie, The Sal, with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Lopez in the 90s. Sounds like a funny amazing. Cast. We should do that one for cool. the pod. Yeah. It's honestly like revered as one of the like freakiest thriller, scary movies ever made. But she goes into the mind of a serial killer, like literally, like a machine allows her to go in.
Oh, that sounds like pandemonium.
And she's a detective, and she wants to see if she could find out where the bodies are buried.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool premise.
But she goes in, and what she finds is his trauma. Father beating him and shit.
Totally.
You know, iron scene and like and it's super freaky and demonic. Right. Oh, that. Okay, kind of shift gears, but there's like a scene too where he's very like royal and regalious, right?
Yeah.
Think of Satan too, his jewels. They talk about all the jewels, every stone of earth. He was decorated the most beautiful angel before he became the demon.
Right.
What is it about the aesthetic too? It can be like this very glorious, you know, fucking enchanting sort of gothic sublime image where it's like you're afraid, it's so overwhelming, you know.
Right.
Or on the other spectrum, the demon can also be very disgusting, you know, grotesque, poor, ragged.
Interesting. So that brings to mind, well, actually before I say that, one, the Luciferian complex, you know, that whole thing, like just the Lucifer's dynamic is incredible. I mean, there's such a poetry to it and really wisdom in it, where you're right. I mean, the most beautiful angel up there, right? Who his sin was pride, you know, one of the seven deadly sins, which Dante in his Inferno says pride is the central deadly sin because every other sin comes from pride. And to put that in Eastern terms or 21st century New Age terms, like the ego, you know, it's like that overinflated sense of self. That's, you know, that's pride.
Right.
So you have Lucifer's the most beautiful angel. He's brilliant, you know, like quite literally brilliant in the sense of like shining.
Yes.
Glorious,
brilliance.
You know, brilliance. And then says, wait a second, look how great I am. How come I'm not the head honcho here? How come I'm not the ruler, right?
Right.
And then boom, falls, right? And then, you know, goes
to before the fall.
Exactly. And then falls and becomes the demon. So there's this very extreme experience of being the brightest of the bright and then becoming the darkest of the dark. It's I mean, it's really, it's bipolar. It's you know, something incredible about Lucifer.
And that's sort of what we're served up with in the Bible too, right? Because Jesus is sandals, no wealth, you know, wears the same robe, sort of sleeps on a stone, you know, just like a man of the earth, you know. And then on that flip side, we have Satan, Lucifer, who's brilliance, you know, rich, wealth, greed, beautiful, magnificence, you know,
so compelling,
and the evil, you know, evil, as opposed to the light. And that's the other cool thing. Glad you brought up Dante too. At the end of the day, whether it's something that's outside or inside of ourselves, right? I think that the core fundamental of the demon, demonic evil, all this stuff, is a way to understand and sort of inculcate within ourselves what we don't want to be. Either on a personal level, interpersonal relationships, whether that be with a partner, whatever, and think of it like disgusting sexuality. Most demons, you know, just there
is a sexuality to the demon. Yeah.
And like keeping those sort of healthy habits, because then what does the light represent? A healthy existence for the species. It's sort of like this anthropological pull to stray away from demonic, you know, quote unquote, or just unhealthy ways of life, relationships, places we live, all this different stuff, you know, and try to get. That's why the global demon, the global evil, which we were talking about earlier, sort of lead poisoning, the Lucifer curves with that book in the 80s I was telling you about. teen pregnancies, murders, freaking serial killers, everything rises with lead, drops off a cliff after that. You name it, oil in the ocean, scraping the oceans,
corporate greed, which creates like
link down below the first Reformed episode, Ethan Hawke's on the cover, click it. But we get these fucking demonic players,
right?
Like Bezos, like freaking Zuckerberg, like all these mega billionaires, they don't give a fuck. There's this weird blindness to them.
Oh yeah.
And like we're talking about that one company that, just leaded gasoline in general. Yeah. All the gas companies, they killed millions.
Yeah.
Ruined a whole generation.
Oh, it's like 1,000 boomers.
That's demonic on a global scale. Totally. And if we're talking about like personal demons, interrelationship demons, well, now we're back to the village, right? The village wants the demonic out of it.
Right.
Doesn't want the demon, because what happens is it spreads throughout the entire village. Freaking billions of human beings can get affected.
Oh, it's contagious
by one goddamn person.
Yeah. And there's small class demons, like you're saying, the personal ones. If I have a demon in me, it's not going to do too much damage. I mean, it can be, I don't know, hurts me, I'm not feeling good about myself, so then I'm not pleasant to be around for other people or whatever, you know, or at its very worst, maybe I don't know. See, I can't even think of something that, like, I'm not going to murder anyone, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not going to be that bad, so there's small class demons at the personal level or the local level, or, you do have, this dude who like joins a gang and does kill a few people. It's like demonic at that level, really bad. Right. But then you have global societal demonic, like you're saying. It's, CEOs that are like indirectly murdering millions of people, or like the Hitler thing,
Right.
So there's that.
Right.
But it always seems compelling and attractive, right? Because you have like the Lucifer thing, it's attractive, like, look, wealth, right? Like, okay, you take this business that's going to like, I don't know, dump its waste in, the local water source because it's convenient and they're going to save a bunch of money, and a bunch of local people are going to get sick, but they're just like, don't care. I have so much money. I'm going to go.
Right. We're going to make way more money than,
Yeah, we're going to make so much money and get to have whatever we want and freaking go to Epstein Island and crazy stuff. Right. So demonic. Yes. But then there's this like we're going to wear whatever you want, be whoever you want, adorn yourself however you want. Yes. There's this sense of power.
Oh my God, power. You become the
Luciferian
adorned
power.
Yes. Wow. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So it is attractive, because what's more attractive? Lucifer, who's adorned with all the jewels on earth,
with a bunch of demonic followers,
with a bunch of cool looking demonic followers. Yeah. Freaking all playing,
and he has all power. He offers Jesus all the power in the world,
Or Christ, who's like probably kind of awkward, he's like this awkward Jewish dude in the desert. He doesn't have shoes,
a little bit autistic,
a little bit autistic, kind of a nerd,
brilliant,
and it's like, and you're like, wait, which is more attractive? And it's like obviously Lucifer.
All right,
but then Christ has something that goes beyond that, and like there's a C.S. Lewis line, love C.S. Lewis,
right,
where he says there's two types of people in this world. There are people that say to God, let thy will be done.
Right? Oh, yes.
And then there are people who say to God, let my will be done. And that's the Luciferian complex. That's the difference. Are you going to say to God, your will, and I'm going to be of service to the world and all of that, or my will,
Yes, good. One of the most iconic scenes in like comic book movie lore in the film cinema discussion is Venom.
And like Spider-Man,
in the like mid 2000s Venom, freaking Red Foreman plays him.
Eric Foreman.
Eric Foreman, yeah. He plays him, and he goes to church when he turns evil to pray and praise so he could have the power to kill Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which everybody's like, Jesus, that's fucking brutal, but actually going to church to pray for these things,
Yeah.
But if you think about it, that is sort of the version of hypocrisy within religion, obviously, but also the reflection of oneself. Man, if your only pursuit, that's what makes even not being rich and trying to be rich or acting like you are that much more even worse. It's like, not only are you not getting the rewards of being Satan, but you're giving up your humanity to be Satan,
Yeah.
So it's a fucking double-edged sword you're fucking, falling into right there. It's what
yeah.
And it's just but of course on the other end, I'm really liking this sort of aesthetic Satanus that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Because man, that's such a reflection of our society.
Oh yeah.
And the more money you have, just like Jesus said, the harder it will be for you to get into God's kingdom. And what's God's kingdom in the galactic empire? The galacticism we built, our religion, while it's finding sort of this peace within life, being able to go back into the stars, is become stardust and find your way back onto another planet better, fucking the karma, be reborn,
Right.
So that being said, you're never going to get there fucking driving Ferraris and adorning yourself in jewels. You're fucking being Satan. You're dressing like Satan. You're dressing you're trying to be Satan. You have Satan's house and everything. Yeah. You're Satan.
Yeah. You're Satan.
You're Satan. You're Satan.
Yeah. And that's
what makes these mega churches such a hypocritical slap in the face.
Yeah, no, that's
all
ridiculous.
These churches, they're rich beyond measure.
Well, that's the great irony. I love sharing this with people who don't care, but like Saint Francis on his deathbed, his dying wish was, don't build any cathedrals for me. Do not build any monuments to me, please.
Yes.
Please.
Right.
The first thing they do is like draw up a fucking blueprint for a giant fucking cathedral the moment he dies.
You got it. Yeah.
And then look, we're in Santa Fe, which is the city of St. Francis. We have the St. Francis Cathedral here.
Right. Our most important road is St. Francis, or fucking hospitals named after.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. We live in the city of St. Francis. It's so weird.
Yeah. He would be pissed. He's rolling in his grave, rolling in his cloud in heaven.
Yeah.
He didn't want it,
Yeah.
Kind of a correlative story, but the last pope that just died, Benedicto, what was his name?
Francis.
Francis.
What was Francis?
Francis.
Yeah.
Francis, my God. Once Francis moved out of the Pope's palace, his crazy apartment they have for him,
Yeah.
And he lived in some small little fucking apartment at one of the churches, and I don't know where the fuck, but it was a humble abode, right?
Yeah.
What was the first order of business for old American Pope Leo? Back in the palace, baby.
Hell yeah, America. Yeah, get him back in there. All right.
Oh, man. So it's just funny. And of course, but all the Christian religions use this to talk shit about the others.
Right.
The Jehovah's Witnesses talk shit about Catholics for sending around a contribution basket. Meanwhile, they say, well, we would never do that. But let's read a scripture about why it's good to give to the church. And by the way, our contribution box is in the back, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right.
And they're rich beyond measure. Mormons too. They do the same thing to Jehovah's Witnesses. But around and around we go.
Well, that's a fun demon game, is when the demons parade around in the garb of religion, right? When the demon dresses up.
And what did Jesus not want? Jesus said, no organized religions. It's literally scriptural.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's scriptural.
Yeah.
The only way to God is through him. Humble, personal, interpersonal.
Yes.
What do we do?
Yes.
Build mega churches.
It's the inward search. Yeah. Yeah. One thing I want to get to this because I'm curious. How much time do you have?
I got to leave at 12:55.
Was it right now? We got.
It is 12:29.
Okay, I'm going to bring this up because I'm curious about this one issue. Actually, I just want to name drop Dr. Faustus.
Okay.
The Christopher Marlowe play. Did you ever read that one in college?
Did not. Yeah, I know which one
it's
you're talking about. It's a
great fucking play, but that's where you get the archetype of selling your soul to the devil.
Okay.
You know, gaining the world and losing your soul, that sort of thing. Great play. Really fun play. Okay, I'm curious what you think about this. So there's this therapeutic modality called internal family systems, or parts therapy is another phrase for it. And parts therapy is essentially just finding these different parts of yourself that have different needs.
Right.
And then are sometimes in conflict, and then bring conflict into your life.
Right.
You know, because you're experiencing internal conflict.
Yeah.
So maybe you have the inner child part that just wants to be held and loved and taken care of. And then you have the part of you that, I don't know, has been wounded and is really overly self-protective and uses anger to feel safe, or whatever it is, right? You have these inner parts.
Right. Yeah.
So the guy who developed it, who's a renowned psychologist, wrote a best-selling book in the 80s called No Bad Parts. And like a clinical psychologist, PhD, like not like a woo-woo new age guy, right?
Right.
Which I bring that up for a reason, because he gets weird.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm curious about. So he comes up with this whole therapeutic thing. It's hugely successful. He's working with serial killers who are in prison, with child pedophiles in prison and all this shit. And like, kind of like that movie, Jennifer Aniston or whatever, Jennifer Lopez, whoever it was, going into the mind of the serial killer and finding out, oh shit, there's deeply, 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 horrifically, demonically injured parts of yourself. And that's why you're behaving in such this way. And then essentially is helping fucking serial killers and pedophiles heal the parts of themselves that want to kill and rape. It's like crazy, like really intense stuff. Right. This guy has done incredible work. So he says all of these parts, sometimes they're not rational. You know, you have the inner wounded child who like wants to be held and taken care of your entire life, but then that manifests as an adult. You're not taking care of yourself. You're bumming money from people all the time, stuff like that. Right. So he goes, it ultimately isn't serving you, but there's a logic to the sense in that it's trying to help you, just in a maladaptive way.
Right. Right.
Or someone with anger issues, you're lashing out all the time because you're angry, and that's having a bad impact on your life and the people around you. But really, it's just trying to give you a sense of safety and okayness.
Yeah.
You know, that no one's going to fuck with me because I'm so angry, you know, whatever.
Right.
So he goes, there's a logic to it. The parts are always trying to serve you and help you, even if it's maladaptive.
Right. Defense mechanism.
Yeah. So this is where it gets weird. Because after doing this work for like 25 years, and he's always like, yeah, it's just it's internal. It's psychological. It's just parts of yourself. There's no demons. There's no outside things that are trying to like control you. He's like, no, this is, even at the level of the serial killer, this is just wounded parts of you that are trying to sustain you in the world, you know? Okay. And then decades later, he goes, well, I actually started to realize that there are external mechanisms, right?
Right.
And it's like, and when asked like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, I do think there are, like, I heard him on an interview, and he goes, I don't want to scare people, but he goes, I'm pretty sure that there are like shadow creatures that can take you over. And it was like, and again, this guy is like clinical, scientific. He's not like a woo-woo guy. He's not like a psychedelic guy, whatever. Later he becomes that, but like, anyway, that there are these external shadow creatures that can come into you, to demons, exorcisms. He's talking about inviting the demon in and exploding the demon out. And it was weird. It was like really fucking weird, because he goes beyond psychology into this weird spiritual realm. So what do you think about, and he's claiming that in his therapy sessions, working with clients, that he's actually seen like, oh, this is not like the inner child trying to protect them. This is like a fucking demon that we need to get out.
Right.
So one, I know I don't think you're familiar with this guy's work, but one, does this sound like someone who just like drank too much of their own Kool-Aid and kind of lost their mind? Is there some kind of I don't know, is validity to that? Do you think that we can take on this like external objective evil force that enters us, or is it all just psychological, internal? What do you think?
Right. So first comment I wanted to make, just back to Marlowe real quick. Yeah. One of my favorite plays ever is the Jew of Malta, which he wrote.
Oh, I haven't read that one.
And that one crescendos with them being like boiled in a pot, which is sort of like,
oh my God,
reflected back to the genre thing of the witches, the pot, the stew. But it's really a commentary on religion, on greed. There's like a lot of Catholicism, Jewishness, hatred between each other, all that stuff, Anyways, Marlowe, genius.
Yeah.
That being said, this work is interesting. Okay, 2 examples, right? Because 3 examples. So one, I watch a lot of Y-Files. So a lot of things that are out there, including in the CIA documents, which they've released to the public, there's things like remote viewing and shit that cannot be explained.
Yeah.
But they're literally, it's there. It's like proof in the pudding. It's happened. Like they spent millions of dollars in like studies and telepathy and shit like this.
Right.
Like it's actually there.
Yeah.
Second example. Remember I was telling you about that psychologist book I read who studied people who got abducted, or they were his clients, he was a therapist. And for, decades, he only worked with individuals who said they were abducted by aliens.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah,
that sounds so much fun.
I'll find it. It's been a while. But anyways, fucking incredible, findings,
Yeah.
And most of the time, the stories could always, X amount of percentage of the time, the stories could be validated or disproven via trauma.
Yeah.
They were really just getting abused by a parent, just things like that link to that had similar links,
Right. Okay.
A lot of them whose stories were pretty bizarre and outrageous also had these things happen to them.
Got it.
These, traumas. However, not all of them.
Right.
And there were, a few studies that this doctor claimed were essentially pretty irrefutable. And they were just normal people without no criminal background, no trauma, parents still together, just happy families, career driven, normal people. Just all of a sudden, some crazy fucking abduction shit happened to them and their lives changed overnight. And, so couldn't completely disprove it. Final example. There is a book out there. I can't think of the priest's name. But essentially, he was the Pope's exorcist. Mm. And the big quote from the book is that 99% of the people that he visited in Italy, France, around the world, right, for exorcisms, it was always linked to some sort of what we're talking about with your friend, in LA, where it's it was like a power of suggestion thing, or the person was just kind of crazy, and one thing he would do is bring a lamb and then do a prayer and then shoot the lamb. And then the people would be like, I'm cured, whatever. But what it was giving them a sugar pill. Got it. It wasn't an actual anything. He just knew they were traumatized. Yeah. However, the big quote is 99% of them he could prove were not real demon possessions, but 1% were. And he was absolutely positive that they were. Yeah. And this is a man who spent 60 years doing this.
Right.
So all that being said, sort of hearkening back to the original where we started, if somebody told me, if it was like a roulette board, red, black, or green, not demons, inner demons, definitely demons, like exterior, like fourth dimensional demons.
Like these creatures outside of us.
For me, it would probably be green and not red or black, which is like 40%.
Okay.
But it's not on the board.
You got it.
You know what I mean? I think, yes, there's a possibility. There is like a 10% chance that, and the ball often lands on green, so you never know.
Yeah.
So that's basically where I'm at this point. I think when I was younger, I was so driven after leaving the like childhood religion cult,
right,
to be rational, to be scientific about it. Right. But what happens is that leads you into believing everything that's rational and scientific. And then you find out stories that rational science can't disprove.
Yeah.
So what happens? Then you inherently have to acknowledge that it's a possibility.
Yeah. There's a quote by a scientist, maybe Bill Nye or someone like that, I don't know, but that he goes, if you do an undergraduate degree in biology, you become an atheist. If you do a PhD graduate degree in biology, you start to see God everywhere.
Oh my God.
You know, and it's like, that's kind of what you're describing. Yeah, there's the like, you raised in the church, whatever, you leave and everything's like, okay, fuck that. You swing the pendulum to the other side, scientific materialism. It's all just like concrete, real. There's a rational explanation for everything.
Yes.
Whatever. And now you're, more life experience and whatever, where it's like, I don't know. Damn, I don't know.
Yeah. And that's sort of that's also it too. Maturation and maturity shows you that you can't be so sure. I don't know. Where do you fall on the spectrum? Are you like 10% possibility? Is it more 1%, or are you closer to the 50-50 round, or are you all in? There's a fourth dimension.
Right. Sometimes I'm all in. Sometimes I'm like, oh, there's some weird stuff out there.
Right.
Other times I'm 50-50. I think I'm going to go 60-40.
60-40.
That there is some weird shit out there.
Nice.
Because ultimately I don't know, and it's like, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, right? But I do think that there's rhythms. I think our lives could take on a certain kind of momentum. Like people talk about spiraling into madness, spiraling into a depression or something. There's like this quality of momentum that once you're on a track, you're kind of almost getting pulled through that track, or like rising to the top, that kind of thing, like other direction, but there's like a momentum pulling you that way.
Right.
Or, our lives happen like where everything bad happens at once. When it rains, it pours.
Yes.
Or everything's going so well.
Right.
And you catch a momentum, you catch a vibe, and then I don't know. And then that happens, so I don't know if like, something happens to my car one day and then I run into almost get bit by a shark at the beach. I don't know. Just like weird, bad stuff keeps happening over and over again. Is it because I have a demon on me from my new apartment or something? Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Sure.
Can it be helpful even to like externalize it and be like, oh, I have a demon on me. So now if I get rid of the demon, I'll be good. And placebo effect, deliberately use the placebo effect on myself. Yeah, sure.
Because what's happening is you're uncomfortable. You got to change the situation.
Yeah.
You can use the external as motivation. Yeah. And then just like quickly too, that it's interesting to think then how a demon can also be viewed as something positive.
Yeah.
A driver of raw humanity that we oftentimes have abandoned via, whatever, the demon inside you, The guy's got a demon inside, The high school here, they're called the Santa Fe Demons,
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah. A lot of schools, right? Like Arizona State's the Sun Devils, and they have a demon with a pitchfork,
that's strange. Huh.
And it's also sort of like representative of motivation. Perhaps, or like somebody who's driven.
One time where I saw, you got another minute?
Yeah.
Okay. One time where I saw, I was like, there's a fucking demon here. I worked with this kid at the high school who, clearly some serious,
right,
trauma, whatever. I mean, obese, and sometimes just had that look in his eye where he was just like, like, dude, where the fuck are you right now? Just like scary, you know?
Yeah.
Uncomfortable to be around, you know, just like kind of scary. And my heart goes out to him because whatever shit this kid went through was a lot. Right. And he was like, and I was trying, and he was illiterate, you know, and I'm like, you know, he's like 15. And I was trying so hard to just get him to do anything at all in school. And then I was like, what are you into? And he's like, well, I kind of like to draw, you know? And I was like, dude, hell yeah. You know, and I'm an artist. So I was like trying to connect with him at that level. And so I was like, okay, well, I can't force you to do work right now. You know, it's like yell at you, give you detention, kick you out. You're not going to do shit regardless. So I just want to see you do something. Here's some paper and a pencil. Just do some drawing, dude. Like let's start from there, you know? Yeah. And the shit that this kid drew was so fucking scary. Like demonic, bro. There's no other way to say it. It's like,
what's his name on Chocolat?
oh yeah. Just scary. Just scary. And he wasn't, it's not like he was a good artist drawing pictures of Satan or something. That would have been kind of funny. It was just like fucking him like scratching at the paper, just anger, fear. I was like, and then I'd see these and I was like, I got to burn that shit because I don't want it on my desk. It's scary. I don't want this here. Yeah. So, you know, so I think energy gets expressed through the art that people make. If you look at someone's art, you could get a really good sense of who they are and where they're at. Yes. I saw this kid's, if I didn't see a demon, I saw a very, very, very injured individual with a lot of fucking anger and shame and fear.
And then there's a lot of artists that try to mimic that, you know, sort of like darkness or blackness, you know, but you meet them, they're actually pretty cool. You know?
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like horror writers and metal musicians and all this stuff. And like,
but then the dark arts comes down to it. I do want to say, but harking back to the Meccano pod, what scares me is that I think there's something like demonic in the verb, in the definition of the word, that, you know, something scary that we can't control. Yeah. In the cosmos out there in space. Yeah. Space scares the shit out of me. Yeah. You know, we're rolling around in this freaking globe around the sun, can get pelted by like island-sized rocks and stuff. There's black holes. There's different dimensions. Right. That's just scary. Crazy. Yeah. Like, you know, it's absolutely insane that any of us keep a rational fucking state of mind in this place, you know, that we live in. So there's also sort of like a cosmic evil, you know.
Totally.
Other thing I wanted to know was, so this goes deep, right? This sort of like bad luck thing. Right. The demon hovering. This can go really dark. Like there was this family in the church that we grew up in. And two of them, like the grandma and grandpa, were one of the original like witnesses ever. Right. When it first started, and they like were in the first meeting of Gilead, they call it, where it's like the pioneers, you know, in New York and shit like that. Yeah. And they were anointed too. So they would drink from the wine. They were one of the 144,000 that would go to heaven and serve with Jesus as kings and queens. Right? Hell yeah. In heaven. Right.
Love that. Yeah.
So the son, he becomes an elder too, goes as a missionary, meets some like South American hottie. They start pioneering together, missionaries. They have like 4 kids, right? So they're in our kingdom hall. So anyways, the parents died, the grandparents, okay? And was a conspiracy that sort of within the family that then Satanus had it out for them, right? Yeah. Dude, mom dies of cancer.
Oh God.
Like 6 to 9 months later, the dad starts having like really bad stomach pains, issues, like, you know, using bathroom. He dies of polyps, cancer on the butt. Freaking 4 months later, the first daughter dies, breast cancer. And they're all like uncorrelated forms of cancer. Yeah. 3 months later, the other sister dies of cancer.
Holy shit.
Some crazy freaking neck thing. And then I think the last one just had lived a little bit longer, but is either still alive or died as well. Yeah. It's just so crazy how that could be like. Is that simply just bad luck coincidence, or is something like cosmically like bad happening to them?
Yeah.
Or did they live in like a lead pipe?
That's what I was going to say.
That was deteriorating.
Who knows? Was there
everybody cancer?
And this is real. This has happened in New Mexico and probably still happens.
Right,
is there uranium buried?
Yes.
20 feet from their neighborhood?
Dude, we used to clean this account. I don't even want to say their name because I'm afraid I'll get freaking assassinated in the dark, Wi-Fi style. But they rent a huge property and building, and they pay security to live there 24 hours a day. And it's been closed for almost 2 decades.
Yeah, what's in there?
And the reason is because they have a bunch of lead. When we were cleaning it out, the scientist came out with a block of lead, and he's all, look at how crazy this is. And he could barely carry it, and he threw it on the ground, and it just mushed like peanut butter.
Weird.
And took a different form. It was so weird. But anyways, they made like the uranium, nuclear, whatever things for the Humvees in Afghanistan.
Oh wow.
So they have all kinds of nuclear waste in the ground.
Yeah, just here in town.
They
like
have
right
it
there.
in the ground, and they'll never clean it out because it'll cost way more. So now it's just poisoning all of freaking Airport Road, and nobody knows about it.
Crazy. Yeah.
First Reformed.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. And then one more thing came to mind too. I mean, historical demonism too. I mean, you look at like I saw a museum exhibit in Denver that was about, I think it was called it was a Native American massacre, right?
Right.
Where Union soldiers came in and all the men were out hunting, and it was just old people, women and children, a lot of them sick because there was a smallpox infection going around.
Right.
And all these soldiers just came in and freaking lit these people up. Crazy, right? Which one, how do you do that? How do you have the heart to do that?
Sure.
2, talk about like Holocaust style shit. How do you do that? 2, there's stories of like taking like, it's hard to even say, taking like little native kids and like being like, using them as target practice, being like, go run. And then all these like freaking drunk ass soldiers are like shooting at them, laughing.
Right.
Crazy. And so that stuff, Vietnam War stuff, like crazy shit, where it's just like, how can people do that? And then with this massacre from the 1800s and around the Denver area, there was one guy, one soldier, right? It was like a battalion of like 50 dudes or something, right? And this one soldier had a conscience and was like, holy shit, I can't believe this happened. I need to report this to my superiors, right? So they finish up their expedition, whatever, go back into town. And this guy goes right to his superiors, the general, whoever it was, and reports like, there was this fucking massacre. It wasn't a battle. They're going to tell you it was a battle. It wasn't a battle. All the men were out hunting. This was sick old people and children that they massacred ruthlessly, So he reports it. The general just like ignores it. And then this dude gets freaking assassinated on a city block in Denver the very next day. And it's just like, what the hell, dude? And this is all written down. I mean, this is real shit.
This is true.
They had photos of these people, all of it. It's
Captain Olgren, Tom Cruise, Last Samurai. That's his PTSD. Like,
right. That's right. That's right.
Fucking,
yeah. Tom Cruise was there, and then he flew out to Japan. Yeah.
Which is good for forgiveness, and I like too that forgiveness is anti-demonic.
Yeah.
And like holding hatred and grudges and all this stuff is part of evil, you know, and letting go, being the naturalist, caring for your environment, the things we put in our body, all this stuff. This is peace. This is God. This is happiness, right? This is longevity.
On behalf of the Jareds, thank you for listening. Rate, follow, and tell your friends. Volume 2 of the Demon Pod will be released tonight. And always remember, we are each our own devil, and we make this world our hell. Have a great morning.